Hey everyone, and welcome to part 2 of this video series about how to deal with overwhelm. Now, in part 1 of this video series, we focused on shifting our perspective to put ourselves first by reorganizing our priorities. Now, as a result of that first video, I had a number of people reach out and tell me they'd shifted their perspective, had made time to put themselves first, but they didn't know what to focus on. So in this video, we're going to cover the areas that significantly impact our well-being and our ability to deal with stress and overwhelm. I want to reiterate that these are the basic principles that I get my clients to focus on, or myself for that matter, when I'm feeling overwhelmed. They're not going to solve all your problems, but they will get you into a more balanced state so that you can look at your situation with a new perspective. There's 5 areas I want to cover, so let's dive into the first topic, sleep. We all know that sleep is good for us, but it's usually the first thing we sacrifice when we're feeling overwhelmed. We'll pick up our laptops after dinner, work a little extra, or get up a little earlier just to get ahead of the day. Limiting our sleep can have a massive impact on our health and our performance. In fact, the Guinness Book of World Records no longer allows record-setting attempts for sleep deprivation, as it damages mental health. They will, however, recognise the record if you skydive from space, drop at 844 miles an hour and break the sound barrier, but you cannot deprive yourself of sleep as it's deemed too dangerous. Sleep hygiene is a massive topic, but the main takeaway is to aim for a minimum of 7 hours sleep and 8 hours being the goal. Stimulants such as caffeine and alcohol have a negative impact on your sleep. Some people have a few glasses of wine because it helps them fall asleep, but it will impact the quality of their deep sleep. With better sleep, you'll feel more energized, have better physical and mental recovery, and improved memory and cognitive performance. Some of my clients don't have a problem getting to sleep, but they wake up at night. This usually involves a hyperactive mind or anxiety about all their responsibilities. I'll cover inner critics and how they sabotage us in next week's video. Okay, topic number 2, what we eat. When feeling drained and rushed, we usually reach for convenient meals or sugary snacks. In fact, when we're exhausted, our body triggers a hormone known as the hunger hormone. That's why they say never do a food shop when you're hungry or tired, because it will drastically impact the contents of your shopping basket. In fact, I'm the worst for this. If I shop when I'm hungry or hangry, I'll end up with a basket full of donuts and crisps. And this is because our blood sugar level changes when we eat sugary snacks that we crave when we're feeling tired. We may feel energized for a while, but we'll then experience feelings of fatigue, and this can impact our sleep patterns later in the day. A diet that promotes health, makes us feel good, and positively impacts our sleep will be varied in rich fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, to say a few. At a basic level, get familiar with the concept of food labels. If it's green in all areas, it's a good choice. If it's amber, it's okay in moderation. Use sparingly though if it's in the red, as it's not going to be great for you. Now, I don't believe well-being is all about green tea and lettuce leaves. We've got our lives to live, and so we shouldn't be too prescriptive about our food. My mantra is to eat well during the week and try and avoid alcohol, because this allows me to fuel myself well for the day, crush my workouts, and get good rest and recovery. I'll then happily eat pizza and drink beer at the weekend if I want to. It's about finding your balance. One final tip for food is don't eat just before bed, as it will affect your sleep. At the most basic level, if your body is working to digest food, it can't get the restful state it needs for recovery. Okay, let's go on to topic number 3, movement. Now, exercise is fundamental to our well-being and should be a building block for our self-care routine. We all know the health benefits of exercise, so I don't want to labour the point too much. However, getting our body moving has several other benefits we don't always consider. For me, exercise serves me in many ways. It's time devoted purely to me, and it feels like a release, or sometimes when things feel overwhelming, an escape. It's a way to let off steam and transition into a better state of mind. Endorphins are released when we exercise, which is why it makes us feel good. Exercise can also be a reflective space. Whether hiking, running, or in the gym, I either lose myself in music, a podcast, or an audiobook, or become aware of my thoughts. Most of my insights come during or after a good workout. When overwhelmed, we have a cluttered mind and too many things to do. We'll feel like we're not making enough progress. Although it feels counterintuitive, forcing yourself to make time for exercise will benefit you. It'll feel like you've made progress in an area of your life. It'll be a stress buster. You'll be clear-headed to look at your challenges with a new pair of eyes. When people hear the word exercise, they usually think of running or going to the gym, and that's why I prefer the term movement. I recommend my clients simply move more, whether it be tracking their steps and increasing them every week, having a 20-minute walk during their lunch break, or training for a Himalayan expedition. Yes, one of my clients is doing this. So as long as they put aside the time and consistently make progress. Okay, topic 4, nature. Sounds a bit flower power, doesn't it? For me, nature is about being in green space, such as a park or even better, woods. We tend to live in concrete jungles and stare at boxes all day. Unsurprisingly, there's something calming about stepping away from it all. Being in nature is a game changer for those feeling overwhelmed, and it can help with depression. Jason Fox, or Foxy from SAS Who Dares Wins, talks about the significant impact that nature and being coached significantly impacted him when he was at his lowest point. Sometimes I'll have a reminder in my diary about going for a walk in the woods that's just behind our house. It takes about 20 minutes. Now, I'm usually spinning a lot of plates and my inner critic tells me I'm too busy or what's the point, but I do it anyway. Now, the first few minutes of my walk, my pace is rapid. I'm trying to get through it as quickly as possible so that I can tick it off the list and get back to work. But once I'm in the woods, everything slows down and I force myself to stop, look around and get present. Now, my route's a 20-minute loop, so I set myself a challenge. The first half of the walk is about being as present as possible, ignoring the inner voices and being grateful for being outside. Now, although that's challenging, a mindset shift happens somewhere in that first 10 minutes. I then use the rest of my walk to reflect on my priorities because I have a new perspective. So it's time to dust off your walking shoes and go hug a tree. Finally, topic number 5, play. It's not fun being overwhelmed, and the thought of making time for fun is the last thing on your list. Actually, it's probably not even on the list. Our inner critics will sabotage our thinking and tell us we have too much to do, or once you get through your list, then you can have fun. I don't know about you, but my list keeps growing. In the previous article, we discussed the importance of putting yourself first so that you can show up as the best version of yourself and have the most impact on others. Having fun and playing is a big part of this, and spending time doing the things that light you up will really have a significant effect. For some of my clients, these activities range from golf, knitting, attending a comedy show, or learning an instrument. For me, play is surfing, playing in my band, connecting with friends over a beer, and getting lost in whatever role play or crazy game my 2 kids come up with. The more play we bring to our lives, the more comfortable we feel in our own skin, and the more us we bring to every occasion. So many leaders that I talk to, they put on armour before heading into work, and then they feel that there's a work version and a non-work version of themselves. We can't necessarily be at work how we are in the pub with our friends, but we need to find a way to bring as much of ourselves as possible rather than worrying about being judged. So there you have it. I focus on these 5 fundamental self-care building blocks when I'm looking to have the most impact on my own well-being or dealing with overwhelm. Of course, there are lots of other things I advocate and I do myself, such as cold therapy, breathwork, and coaching. But these top 5 will give you the most bang for your buck. I'm very aware that your inner critics are still probably stealing the show and saying, you don't have time, or where are you going to fit this all in? So next week, we're going to address inner critics head on in part 3 of this video series. For now, pick one of these things and try it. Maybe you always feel tired and you want to commit to going to bed 1 hour earlier, 3 days a week. You may be curious about what it would be like to have a walk during your lunch break. Maybe that guitar in your cupboard is dying to be played again. Let's not worry about consistency or the overall bigger picture. For now, let's experiment and see how we feel. There are some fantastic books out there with regards to habit forming, like Atomic Habits by James Clear, or if procrastination is an issue, then Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy can help. One tip that always works for me is diary reminders on my phone. So let's say I'm going out for a walk. I'll box off the time in my diary so clients can't book over it. I'll set 2 reminders, one 30 minutes before and one 10 minutes before. And these reminders hold me to account. They help me transition from whatever I'm doing. It stops me from rushing from one task to the next and reminds me of my commitment to myself. Please remember, I'm not saying do all these things and your overwhelm will be gone. This video addressed the basics of helping you survive when you're overwhelmed. The rest of the series is going to look at how we thrive. So please comment and check in with me as you progress. I love to hear from viewers and how you're getting on. If you want to know more about me and my coaching process and actually experience being coached by me, I offer a free 1-hour coaching session to those curious about leading a better life. Please click the link in the video notes to book your free session. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day.